that you are genuinely concerned about China winning the AI arms race, in which case I think it's important that you know that Stratos, your data center, is not doing a damn thing to fix that. In fact, in many ways, it is actively working against us. If it is genuinely what you think the problem is, then I just don't know what to tell you other than the fact that the numbers just don't back you up. We already have over 5,400 data centers as compared to China, who has around 449. And yet, according to Stanford's 2026 AI Index, which I'm sure you've already read, Mr. O'Leary, China has narrowed the performance gap to just 2.7%. Meanwhile, we outspent them on private AI investment 23-1. So before we build another center to produce more data, maybe we try listening to the data we already have? Look at what they are investing in. China filed nearly 70% of the world's AI patents last year. You think that came from an investment in data centers, in buildings? No, it came from an investment in talent, in researchers, in science. If you really cared about beating them, I would think you would be raising hell about what we're doing in response, because we are firing researchers that could be helping close that gap. Do you know that AI scientists entering the US have dropped by nearly 80% since just last year because this administration has been gutting H-1B visas? We are quite literally slamming the door on the exact kind of talent that could be helping us beat China. Because let's say it together, folks, they are not outspending us, they are outsmarting us. By the way, for someone who seems so concerned about staying ahead of China, you sure haven't said much about the fact that we're still selling them NVIDIA chips. That was against the law for this exact reason, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that is until President Trump reversed those export controls last summer for a 15% revenue cut. And yet I haven't heard you mention that once in this conversation yet. Now let's talk about power, because I think it's so interesting that you'd mentioned solar, wind, and batteries and air cooling as alternatives for powering your data center. You know, a 9 gigawatt data center. Now, I know you know this because you are the only developer of a data center on Earth that has graduated from environmental studies, but for the rest of the plebs of the world, you do realize that solar does not run at night. So it only produces about a quarter of whatever its installed capacity is per year. To get 9 gigawatts of around-the-clock solar power, you would need to install over 30 gigawatts of panels with enough battery and storage to bridge every sunset. Are you kidding me right now? With wind? Wind is wildly irregular and cannot deliver a reliable baseload. And air-cooled? Air cooling doesn't address the energy problem whatsoever. It just trades off a water crisis for an emissions one. All of this while you're burning the gas that you're calling sustainable. Come on, cut the foreplay, Kevin. What do you mean in search of the best technology? You and I both know what the best technology is. There's only one energy source that is dense enough and reliable and clean enough to run a 9 gigawatt data center 24/7. And that's investment in nuclear. And consider your search complete. It's not even up for debate anymore. Nuclear has the highest capacity factor and is the cleanest source of energy for running data centers. Meanwhile, grant renewals are being killed under the EOD Genesis mission, which is literally telling scientists that AI matters more than investment in nuclear or China wins. So while China is investing in building reactors, we are reacting by cutting the science behind them. But you already know that, don't you? You know exactly why America doesn't invest in nuclear despite it being the better long-term power source to invest in. Because nuclear takes years before you see a return on investment. Which is why you went with an entirely off-grid natural gas power plant, isn't it? Because gas pays you back in months, in fact even faster with your tax break. So if you really want us to beat China, then prove it. Publicly lobby for tripled NSF funding, for expanded researcher visas, for a restored science board, and for federalized strategic compute access, not whatever this privatized bullshit is that you have going on. But you won't do that. I know you won't, because you're not competing with China. You're building a privately held tax-subsidized campus in Box Elder County where 80% of the property tax revenue just gets rebated back to the developers, and your revenue model depends on leasing to companies like Amazon. Come on, you're a smart man, Mr. O'Leary. So quit making such stupid arguments. So I'm going to take you completely at your word.